How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. Time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all cranked up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Jae Lee. And if you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. He is a wonderful artist. He really has his own unique style. I really like it. It's a mix of like a high illustrative, almost golden age illustration with some kind of modern day sensibilities through his the way that he renders color and his line a little bit. It's a little more bridging that gap a little bit in his own unique way. I think he does just a wonderful job. In everything you can see, he does such dynamic posing and the setup and layout of each one of his shots. I want to try and find that one that I really like. This one. I just thought that was really interesting with the spider here and this cloak almost in the background. Almost feels like there's more faces hidden within it. It's just such an interesting piece there too. One of those ones that really makes you want to. There's enough there that you get something right away. You're not trying to necessarily read the piece, but you're trying to understand the piece more. So you're wanting to focus on it a little bit more. Like this, I think his structure and his layout and the anatomy of the thicks versus the thins and the smooths versus the curves really blends really well in his work. This was the one that originally drew me to his stuff. I just thought that was such a dynamic pose, and you can really feel the tension and the weight here as well. Just such a great job. So definitely check out more stuff from him. I will throw a link in the description below if you guys want to see more of his great work. But I did want to share a quote with you guys, and that was from something he said. And he said, I just want to be a better artist. One day, I hope to put on paper exactly what's in my head. It's an unrealistic goal, so I'm destined to be unhappy. But that's okay. Artists do their best work when they're miserable anyway. And if that's true, which I tend to think that there's a lot of truth in there. I don't know that I've experienced every part of it. I should be doing some great work today, or earlier at least. I was really getting frustrated with something that I was working on, and I usually pop on some podcasts or listen to some documentaries or listen to some music or something in the background while I'm working. But it was one of those days where I had to kind of go the Milt Call yelling at Richard Williams quote of I'm not smart enough to listen to music when I animate, that kind of a mentality. So I just turned off everything and I just tried to focus, and eventually I got some stuff that was okay. I don't know that it was my best work when I was miserable and frustrated, but it was definitely better than where I was going. And sometimes just that kind of change of attitude or change of framework or change of flow of your normal workflow can at least help when you're struggling. I found, at least, get you in a different mindset than usual. But that being said, I think this is a really interesting quote, and it's nice to see that people whose work that I admire, who are steps ahead of where I am, deal with that same stuff. Where even a great piece like this, if he's struggling to get out what's in his head, and he's getting great results anyways, that gives hope for those days where you feel like you're not getting what's inside your head as well. So at least it's a kind of a solidarity thing, I think, for creative people to know that there's other more people that are in different walks of their journey than you are, that are dealing with the same thing. So that being said, I'm getting rambly, so let's get into some animation. This is the Interface Man. It's a free rig you can grab over at davidoreilly.com. Again, I will throw a link in the description to everything that we've talked about so far. The cool thing and creepy thing about this is, like, look at the interface. That's definitely a different style than we've really animated before. It reminds me of those haunted mansion ghost faces where you walk by and it looks like they're looking at you all the time. So with this one, first of all, just the real quick spiel. If you're not familiar with what we're doing for the rest of the video, give ourselves 48 frames, give or take. Go off and find a rig that I've never used before. It's a free resource for you guys to play around with as well. And we kind of go from there, a little bit of talking through the process. a little bit of talking about something about the creative world in general. But the main goal of doing these videos each and every day is to hopefully encourage you, inspire you, give you a little bit of motivation and an extra push, a little bit of encouragement, enthusiasm, something in your day so that you go off and maybe you create something using your own imagination and your own creativity, and you take another step in your journey towards mastering whatever medium it is that you're passionate about. That being said, let's go ahead. So I was thinking with this one, there was a weird comic that was around few years ago, which I'm sure it's the internet, so most things, unless they're highly confidential, are around for a long time, that had this really creepy ending. So I was kind of got me thinking maybe try and do a weird, bizarre walk like that one had, which had the character backwards on all fours and chasing after someone. It was really creepy. So I was thinking we got a creepy character already to start with. So let's try and creepify this one up a little bit. Bring that back here. What about these arms there? Come do kind of a crab walk, I'm thinking. Careful about back there. We'll find our pose here somewhere. Backwards crab walk and make it quick. Should get us kind of getting into that creepy feeling here. I am a little worried about these shoulders and the way they're going to look. But I'm not going to worry about that too much now. If I'm going this way, my hands would be down and the fingers would be forward. Palms down, fingers forward. So let's look here. Customize them ourselves, I guess. Just thinking we could flatten out the translate, but that didn't seem to work so well. I don't want to break everything though, so we gotta be kind of careful for where we can push the wrists, how much we can do here. Why do I always tend to break rigs? Is that just some special gift I have of coming up with an idea that always tends to push a rig too far? Maybe you guys deal with the same thing. Let me know. Maybe don't push your rigs far enough. Do it. Break them. Who cares? Break the rig. See the extent that it can go for. So if I'm going this way, maybe what other way can I do it? I can do it on the fingers. Let's see if that will let us get a little more leeway so we wouldn't break the wrist as much. No. Should be able to do that without bending. So let's see, maybe push the pull vector out. That'll allow us a little more. Let's just get our hands in the place that we know it from. Then we'll mix with getting the elbows right here or not. Okay, we'll just get the hands working first, and then we'll see if we can't get because this would be this way. The pinkies would be in towards the head. Remember, it's always good to do reference or move your body into those poses yourself so you can figure out how they work or how they don't work. That a little more. At least it's not so broken. We still got some twist in there, but we might be able to work with that anyways. like I said, we're trying to go get kind of a creepy vibe here. We're getting there pretty quick. It's already looking bizarre. Maybe that's too far on the neck. Still want to make it feel somewhat realistic, which is kind of a bizarre thing to think about, but I don't break it too much. Okay, I think that I'll start somewhere here. I still want to tweak the hand posing a little bit more. Let's grab everything and we'll try to flatten it a little bit more. Everything on the fingers here. So you can really get decent flats on the ground here. Zero that out. Zero that out. Bring that thumb out here, out there. Twist it, bring it back here. Bring that flat. I think I need to create a ground plane for this one too. Create polygon primitives. Let's do cube here. Okay. That way I can see where the fingers are intersecting through the ground plane here. Bring them back up. Ease up the rotate a little bit more here as well. Okay. Keep tweaking this guy. Rotate that up here. So thumb. Come on, thumb controller. Let me grab you. There we go. Feels like it's too far. Let's just universally pull it. Yeah, I'll bring that back down there. Let's keep pushing our finger posing a little bit more here. Keep it flat on the ground. Come. There we go. And bring that one over there and over here. Down a little bit more. That one down a little bit more as well. Or up, I guess that's what you want to do, huh? Okay. And let's tweak these ones a little bit. Okay, let's go with something like that. We might do some more tweaks here as we go. Alright, so let's make sure we just have nerve curves, nerve surfaces, and polygons selected. This is a bizarre idea. I don't know why I'm going with it, but let's just stick with it. So, zero it out. We'll go from 0 to 48 here. And we'll go ahead and set our first key there. Okay, so let's see how much we end up breaking this. Should we actually move it or should we do cycle? I think I want to move it towards camera. So we're going to do, yeah, I feel like that's going to be more fun for this one to have it actually come at camera. So we'll grab these guys, we'll set those there. We'll go, I want it to be a little bit quicker, so let's go 10 these guys. So there, we'll go 20 frames, a little bit quicker, like I said with this one. We'll go forward. Let's see. Okay. And look at 20, we'll push the hips forward here. And we'll go to the other set. Been doing cycles so much, it's funny to go back the other way. I haven't done just a straight forward. So a while where all I was doing was just straightforward moving, and then I went into doing cycles because I feel like cycles come across a little bit better in short frame. Only 2 seconds of stuff. The cycle's probably a little bit easier to kind of get your idea across because you can just loop it. But I think with this one, to have it come at camera, it would be more creepy. So, and let's push that forward here. Those, key those there, move those forward. Grab these two, key them at 50, and go to 60, and push them forward there, and bring those hips back there. Okay, now let's look at it and see how it feels. I keep thinking those thumbs are the wrong way, but it's weird going this way. Okay, I think we could go a little bit faster. Maybe we'll go on 8s. So let's go Window, Animation Editors, Graph Editor. I want this to feel pretty fast. 1, 2, and then we'll go. Why did I not go 2? I'm gonna go 8. Here we go. 8, 16, 24. Means we'll have to put in another couple moves. 32, 40, 48, 8, and then 56. I guess we'll just do 56 frames. Okay. And let's put in another set of moves here. So I got this, this. Set them there. Move everything. What did I do? 48. And then do one more move, then I guess is what we gotta do with here. Okay, so key those at 48, and then go 56. Bring those back together, and bring that forward there. Okay. Let's take a look at it now, see if that timing feels a little better. Let's look at so knees kind of go in, so out. So let's see, keep them out a little bit. So pull vector, rotate Z. Should just be kind of a consistent throughout. Let's see. Okay, and let's look at the hands here and the feet. Let's just go ahead and lock in all of our main keys that we have here, every 8 frames here. Let's look at our translate Z here, see how we did as far as consistency of movement. This is just the movement from pretty much screen left to screen right or towards frame. I'm just going to make that consistent so it feels a little more even instead of slowing and having any of that jerkiness in there. And so let's just leave that more like that. Let's see. Let's watch it again. Yeah, I don't know why that creeps me out already. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring this in a little bit more. Let's start getting our passing positions in here. So 12, we'll lift them up, and then we can probably tweak this stuff as we go. Lift it up here, plant it down. One thing that's nice about not doing a cycle today is I don't have to worry about getting it to feel exactly right in the end frame and get seam back into the original one, which can sometimes be a headache. And let's go ahead and lift that up here. Down. I'm going to save my file real quick one more time. Just got a little bit of lag there, so I want to make sure we're not going to have any issues later. Put that up here, down, and up here. Okay, so let's see what we're doing. Okay, I almost want to make it even a frame quicker. I can guess I'll leave it for now. And maybe smaller moves on the hands. So let's take the translate Y here on those guys. And let's decrease them a little bit more. And balance them out a little bit better. Let's see that. Okay, and let's balance out the translate Y's on the back steps just so they feel a little more even. Find a good medium value somewhere in there, so no real big extreme highs or lows there. One thing I think I'm going to do as well is rotate the feet outward a little bit, just so you can see them a little better in silhouette from this angle. Okay, and let's make sure we go back in and clean up that rotate Y as well. And I think we need to go a little bit higher on the hips because the head's kind of dragging into the ground. Let's go somewhere like that. Yeah. Alright, and let's see here. Gonna set that there. Then 4, we'll go lift it up. Go down. Delete that one. Go up and down, just a little bit of up and down here. Give ourselves a little bit of weight. I don't think I'm going to do too much. I kind of like the almost ethereal nature of it. I almost feel like we shouldn't do any of this at all and just leave it almost gliding. That just gives it some creepy feel because it's just like kind of a non-human kind of an entity. But let's see how this. Let's clean it up too, so that we get fairly balanced area of up and down. Too many highs and too many lows there. That back, that back. And bring it back down. Okay, let's watch that now. It's too much. Let's cut it in about half and raise it up a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Now let's go here. We'll do to still keep it in like the realm of reality, so I'll add some things that are common to like a normal walk, and then some things that would kind of be broken. Alright, yeah, let's see it now. Maybe we can push that a little bit further. Feels like you can't even feel it now at all. Alright, let's look at the feet. Let's go back here, up here, and plants, back here, up here, plants, back there, up there, plant. Okay, and let's look at that. See how that feels now. And this side, do the same thing. Go 2 frames, and we'll go a little bit back. 2 frames forward, up, back, up, back, up, back, up. Okay, and let's balance that out a little bit better. And usually you can tell, you know, if you have some extreme highs and some extreme lows, and then a lot that are kind of, like here we had this one that was really down there, and this one that was really up there, so kind of just go with a middle ground. That tends to be where you're probably looking for. Okay, and let's look at the toe here. So we'll go toe down there. I'm going to create a new perspective so that I can actually look at this. Make sure that I'm hitting that in the correct spot, and then flatten it out. Drag the toe down here. Lift it up here, 2 frames, flatten it out. Drag the toe down there, lift it up, 2 frames, flatten it out. Drag the toe down there, and lift it up. Maybe that's a little too loose. Let's tone it down a little bit more. Kind of like the stiffness that's in the other foot a little bit more. But I think I'm okay with having one foot that maybe would be a little more exaggerated, and one foot that's a little bit not, like I said, for kind of going for the creepy vibe. It's okay to not have this feel exactly super natural or working correctly. I'm not trying to say that we want it to be broken, but we don't need a really balanced feel for everything here that will add to the kind of creepy ambience that we're going for here. Let's see. And again, that's probably too over exaggerated there, so let's look at that and scale it back to about probably half of what we have at the moment. Yeah, let's watch that again. And I think the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the toes on both sides and move it so that they're just one frame. I feel like they're taking a little bit too long to let's look at the hands now. Let's go ahead and drag it down there. Drag it down there. Drag it down here. And drag it down there. Let's see that now. Okay, and let's look at the other side. And drag it down there. Drag it down there. Drag it down there. Let's look now. Okay, starting to get pretty creepy. Let's do a little bit of tilt in the hips now. So this foot is up. Let's rotate the hips this way, that way, this way, that way, this way, that way, this way, and then back to 0 again. And let's balance that out. And we don't need to get a lot of this stuff. I kind of like it feeling pretty stiff and rigid, but I still want to get a little bit in there. Is that on the right frame? It feels like I bumped it a frame. Nope, we're still good. Okay. Bring that over, bring that over, bring this one over, and let's see. Alright, and let's look at the chest here. I'll tilt a little bit. There, a little bit there. A little bit there. You might not be able to do a whole lot of this because of how much it's affecting the head. And I kind of like the head being kind of locked in. But we'll see if we can't offset that and scale this back a bit more. Get something that still has a little bit of twist in the chest, but not so much that it's going to change the feel of what we have, really. Okay, let's look here. So keep it focused forward if we can here. Back again. Let's see. Yeah. All right. And let's clean that up a little bit better. Still pretty creepy. Okay. Let's do a little bit of rotate. So Y, we're gonna be in here. So I'll favor this front planted leg, that front planted leg, this one, that one, this one, that one, this one, that one, and let's balance that out and minimize it again. Back, that back, that, let's see how it feels. Again, a lot of this we're going to see in the head, so we got to be careful and do some offsetting and everything here too. So let's do a little bit of rotate Z to favor that front planted foot or hand, and that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and then back again. Okay, it's too much, so we're really gonna have to scale that back. And probably scale it back on the hips as well, or exaggerate, whichever way it is that we're gonna have to go to offset it here. Let's see. Let's see if we can't do a little bit of rotate Z there. 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 Back that way, that way. Let's see. There we go. Now let's balance that out a bit better. And I think that's kind of in the vein of what we're looking for. The head feels pretty stiff again. I like the head and the neck having a little bit of movement to it, but mostly feeling stiff here. Have to exaggerate that a little bit more. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, that feels better. Alright, so let's go ahead and do some stuff on the fingers now. Go ahead and save that. And let's grab all of the finger parts together here right now. Thank you. Yes, please. Alright, so grab all of those. And set them at 10. We go 16. And then 26. 32. And then 42. 48. And 56. Okay. And then we'll go at 4, and we'll bring it in a little bit. 8 will go out, down, in a little bit, out, down, in a little bit, out, down, in a little bit, out. Okay. Okay, and then let's take all of the mids and tips, and we'll delay them all a frame here, and then all of the tips, and we'll delay those a frame, everything on the index finger, push it so it starts a frame sooner here. Everything on the pinky will have it lag a frame behind. That should loosen up those hands a little bit more. Okay, now I gotta do some fine tuning here. So I think we'll have this all be one frame later. Or at least this starts so they're not so low here. one frame after the palm contacts there. 41, 48, 56. And then we'll drag it here. Which one do I want to use? There. That's fine. We'll just bring it down there. Kind of gives that pressure feeling to the palm that's popping out there. Like that, right? Maybe a little too much. Maybe we'll scale it back here. Let's look at the rest of the thumb here too. Set there, 16, 25, 32, 41, just so we can get a little bit of movement there. We'll go 4, we'll bring it in just a little bit. 4, bring it in, just so we have some movement so it doesn't feel so rigid there. Let's see. Yeah, that might be a little much, so let's scale it back a little bit. And on the tip of the thumb, we'll allow that one to go back up a little bit more. Alright, it's okay. It's not perfect, but it'll work. And let's go ahead and look at the other hand here. And I think we might have overplayed that one. Those fingers on the other hand a little more, so I'm going to go a little bit less of an approach here. There we go. Just want those ones. So set there, hold it till 8, 18, 24, 34, 40, 50. There we go. And then what did I do here last time? 4 frames and brought it in a little bit. Then 2 frames from it, held it out. 4 frames, bring it in. 2 frames from it, hold it out. 4 frames, bring it in. 2 frames, push it out. And there we go. Okay. And let's go ahead and grab all of the mids and the tips, and we'll delay those. And then just the tips. Great band name. And let's see. Alright. And let's look at the index, or the pinky. We'll delay it a frame. And the index, we'll push it forward a frame. And I think we need to bring, no, kept it, we might need to do a little bit less on this one. There we go. It might have been too much neuter. Let's scale it back a little more. Let's see. Alright, and let's look at the thumb. I'm going to grab all of these ones together this time, where last time I grabbed the first one and then the second one. Just because I don't think I might have just, I don't know if it's a cheat, but I might have just not wanted to animate the rest of the thumb, but then it looked too stiff, so think we need to do it. One frame later. Block it again there. One frame. Okay. And then I think we did 3 frames in. Down. Let's see. Yeah, let's go back to the perspective that we were looking at originally. Let's see how it feels. Okay, the other thing I might try doing here is do a little bit of compression or pressure in the chest here. So that would mean I do a little bit of rotate X up and down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. We're going to need to balance this and probably neuter it quite a bit as well. So let's look there. Only one little bit of this, just so that we get some fluctuation in the chest and the spine itself, so it doesn't feel like it's holding that same position so tightly. There's a little bit of flexibility in there, but not really something that we want to see our posing feel different or our shot feel different. We just want to have that spine not to feel so rigid. Okay, and then let's look at the chest itself. And just a little bit of bounce, some recoil here. And let's clean that up. I might need to invert this. I think I might have approached it the wrong way. But we'll see. We got all our keys in here. Now we can just play around with them. And bring that back, that back. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's go the other way. Just so we added a little bit of compression in that chest there. Let's try and make it a good dynamic angle here. Turn our curves off. Let's see how it feels. Yeah, that's pretty creepy. Pretty bizarre and weird. Okay, so that's the next thing we're going to do. I think that's alright. We could definitely spend another good long while. It's perspective 1, this little I won't use, so I'll go back to perspective and then we'll try and make it feel a little bit creepier by making like a low ceiling here. Let's look back at where we're at in perspective 1. Bring that back down here. Let's scale it out in Z. Actually, something like that. Maybe a little bit higher. I don't really want it to intersect through because it's a lot of dark. Okay, and then let's go back to the other perspective here, and we'll create another cube for some walls here. Confined spaces are always creepy, so let's copy that and paste another one. Okay, I think that'll work for today. Like I said, we could definitely spend another hour or so polishing this up and tweaking it out, but I think the main idea we got working, definitely kind of a creepier, weird shot, but fun nonetheless. So let's look back at where we started. We were looking at the beautiful work of Jae Lee, and he said, "I just want to be a better artist. One day, I hope to put on paper exactly what's in my head. It's an unrealistic goal, so I'm destined to be unhappy, but that's okay. Artists do their best work when they're miserable anyway." So, at bare minimum, I think this is a great quote to at least feel like you're not alone in your art world or your creative world or your imaginative world where you're envisioning these great things in your mind, but you just try, and maybe they get closer and closer, but they're just not there. But that's okay. Everyone's struggling with that, so try and make that pipeline from your imagination out to the medium that you're using as fresh and as clean and as motivated and pushed as you can each and every day. I love you lots. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes. I think that'll wrap it up. Definitely a little bit of a weirder one today, but I had fun with you guys. So I hope you learned something, or bare minimum, I really hope that you guys just got encouraged and enthusiastic about your own creativity. So go out there and create. You are the creative future. And I love you lots. We will see you for some more animation tomorrow.